All right. Thank you for not being here. I think we're all kind of looking for some things to watch. You know, we've been cooped up so long, kind of watched everything that there is to watch. People be like, "Oh, you see Breaking Bad?" Yeah, I saw Breaking Bad. Seen it twice. Looking for something new. I started watching World War II in color. My comprehension is, it's just lousy. I'm very confused by this World War II in color. I'm like 7 episodes in. I don't even know who stars in the thing. Like, is that Hitler? Was World War II Hitler? I'm not quite certain. None of it makes sense. I don't know why the Germans and the Japanese were on the same side. Like, what do they have in common? Very confused. I was talking to my wife about it. She's like, "Weren't you a history minor in college?" I'm like, yeah, I was. Well, didn't you ever take any classes on World War II? Yeah, I did. I took a class called World War II. None of it sunk in. My comprehension has always been pretty lousy. In 9th grade, I was in a history class. I should have been in like this remedial class, but due to some administrative error, I was in with like all of these top students. And I was the lone idiot. It was Mr. Morse's European history class. Mr. Morse was a tough teacher. He liked to curse. Anyway, I was being stupid, like barely paying attention. We were talking about Russia and how Russia was in a weakened state. I have no idea what century this was. But like, I had a question and I'm like, I raised my hand. I'm like, "Hey, Mr. Morse, if Russia was so weak, how come nobody decided to invade Russia?" And I'm not really quite sure to this day why it was such a bad question. But Mr. Morse looked at me, and I'm in the back row, and he's like, "Rich, you are so goddamn stupid." What? Hey, I know that, Mr. Morse. You don't have to tell everybody. You don't have to share that news with all of these future doctors, Mr. Morse. I don't even know why it was such a bad question. Like, aren't students encouraged to ask questions? It had something to do with how, like, with the weather. And, like, I think Napoleon once tried to invade Russia and everybody froze. That's probably wrong, but that's my recollection. What if Mr. Morse did that today? Like, looked one of his students in the eyes and told him he was goddamn stupid. You're going to prison, Mr. Morse. You're not even going into general population. You're going right to the hole. Is the statute of limitations over on that? Like, this happened, I think, over 30 years ago. Is it too late for me to sue Mr. Morse? I think he was the executive producer on that World War II in color. Go after some of that money.